If you're a movie producer and you want to start a war, you don't call in the Army and Navy. You call in the Special Effects Department. They'll stage you wars on the land, in the air, and on the sea. They'll even blow up a whole island for you. But mock warfare is only part of their devilish trickery. At the drop of a script, they'll take you back in time. They'll take you to the bottom of the sea and on a trip through the body of a human being. Most of us steer clear of disasters and dangers, not the special effects people. Give them a bursting dam, a forest fire, a storm at sea, or a flood, and they're in their element. In this next explosive half hour, That's Hollywood will show you the scenes and behind the scenes of the perils, the hazards, and the wizardry of special effects. We'll learn some of the secrets of the production designers, some inside information on the animators, and the trick photographers, all members of that daredevil team that dream up the most chilling, thrilling, make-believe moments of the movies. Stay tuned as That's Hollywood lets you in on the best-kept secrets of Hollywood special effects.
There's no danger.
Come on, we better get out of here.
Problem: how to recreate a fire, an earthquake, or a flood for a movie. Solution: call in the special effects people.
Let's go back.
The storm's worse back there. Come on.
For the 1940 Shirley Temple fantasy, The Bluebird, production designers built a miniature forest such as Mother Nature never imagined. The set was electronically controlled with miles of wiring to set off fires and explosions. The fire was filmed and projected on a soundstage for Shirley and her friends to move through. They were never in any real danger. Things were different with the towering Inferno, whose fires were set on stages and very much involved the actors. That's producer Irwin Allen, Hollywood's master of disaster movies, controlling this careful operation.
All right. Stand by. All right, license pilot. Okay. So much smoke. Half that amount. Take your fire down. Rolling cameras. All right, Susan. Action.
Don't go.
I'll be back with the whole fire department. Come on.
John Gillerman is the director, and Robert Wagner and Susan Flannery are the stars in Peril, along with their stunt doubles. Unseen but all around are firemen at all points on the set, ready to douse the flames if they get out of hand. This is special effects at its perilous best. A frightening scene, thanks to the skill of the special effects team. But take comfort. No matter how much grief the script calls for them to suffer, Robert Wagner and Susan Flannery will definitely live to act again. But not even a double would do what you're about to see. Only a dummy would do this. with thousands of gallons of water poured onto the sets and performers to complete this remarkable piece of special effects illusion. The cast of Alfred Hitchcock's 1944 thriller, Lifeboat, holds the record for the wettest group of actors in Hollywood history.
You fool! Stop thinking about yourself! Think of the boat! Joe, take the sheet, make it fast! Come on! Man the pump! The rest of you bail!
Lifeboat is the only movie ever made entirely in a studio tank. The boat was the only set, except for the wild and wasteful ocean. To achieve this lifelike sequence, Hitchcock sent a camera crew into the Pacific to film a real storm at sea, which he rear projected as his actors were tossed about in the churned up waters of the studio tank and the ferocity of the wind machines. Hitchcock later boasted, "I never lost an actor." On the subject of storms at sea, the one in the Poseidon Adventure is in a class of its own. Little did those happy, festive passengers realize what the special effects fellows had in store for them.
Happy New Year!
Thank you, sir.
Where are you two heading for?
Oh, Napoli, Roma, Venezia.
And don't forget
Pisa.
Torino. You know, it's the first vacation we had since we got married.
Yeah. And why we didn't fly, I'll never know.
Well, since the captain put me in charge, I'm going to propose a toast.
Great. What'll we drink to?
To love.
Here, here. To love. To love. To love, dummy.
Hard left! Hard left, sir. Close all watertight doors. Sound both stations. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A studio tank, a 25-foot-long model of the Queen Mary, and 20,000 gallons of water let loose broadside. That's a special effect. In any kind of movie warfare, models are themselves a special effect, particularly in the making of historical pictures such as one dealing with the pirates of the Spanish Main. In order to make these beautifully detailed models look even more real, it is necessary to invent the scenery, too. If the backgrounds don't look real, you'd never hold your breath at scenes like this. It may take only a few moments on the screen, but it takes months of planning to capture your imagination. In recreating actual historical events, especially one as well documented as the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941, the detail must be absolutely precise. It's calculated that it cost the Japanese $900,000 to stage their attack. It cost 20th Century Fox $9 million to recreate it. Much of it going into the vast amount of explosive devices and the building of numerous sets and models. The models ranged from miniatures to full scale, especially in the case of the aircraft on the ground. There simply aren't this many World War II aircraft left in the world today. The special effects designers had to build all these models for them to be destroyed. The biggest problem was finding the Japanese planes of the kind used in the actual attack. No operable ones were to be found, and the producers ended up using old American planes which were redressed to resemble the Japanese. As you can see, this is special effects work of the most hazardous kind. Stunts, fires, explosion. This is almost as bad as being in a real war. Tora 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 not only gives a vivid graphic account of that fateful day, but it points up the sad truth about the almost total lack of American preparation at the time.
Want a confirmation, Captain? Take a look. There's your confirmation.
Recreating events is one thing. Creating things that never happened is another. Stay with us. We'll show you how the special effects people deal with the unknown and with make-believe. In 1961, Irwin Allen riveted science fiction fans to their seats with the adventures of the futuristic submarine Seaview in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. The mission of the submarine? To save the world from the further damages of atomic warfare. Supposedly a submarine about the size of the average ocean liner, Allen had his men build a 2-foot-long model and shoot it to the surface by means of an underwater trip release.
Just breaking surface, sir.
All stop.
All stop.
Crack the hatch.
Crack the hatch.
Let's go. Come on, BJ.
For the scenes depicting the horrors of atomic radiation, the special effects team used flamethrowers and then printed the film at 1/18th normal speed. The original spurts of flame were only 20 feet long, but with this effect, they seemed to fill the sky.
The sky's on fire.
Another model, 4 foot long, was used for the Seaview's encounter with a giant octopus. A real but small baby octopus was used for this sequence. Its tentacle spread was only 20 inches, but you'd never know it from this clever bit of fakery. Animal encounters of another kind were featured in the 1959 treatment of the Jules Verne fantasy, Journey to the Center of the Earth. James Mason is the leader of the scientific explorers who, at one point, find themselves faced with gigantic prehistoric animals.
A Dimetrodon.
If I had my gun, we'd have fresh meat for dinner.
That's what he's saying. He's a flesh eater.
These animals are not fake. They're genuine flesh eaters. But never fear, they are rhinoceros iguanas, about 1 foot long, and the flesh they eat is usually that of insects. Those ugly fins on their backs are fake, just glued-on rubber pieces. Fake or not, we wouldn't want to meet any of these fellows, even in a movie. These are all movie-making problems solved by the dream makers. Special effects experts who take us where no one has gone before, like a trip through a human body.
Check thermal blanket.
In Fantastic Voyage, to save the life of an important brain-damaged scientist, a medical team is miniaturized and injected into his bloodstream. But they take a wrong turn and go all over his body before reaching the brain. Fantastic Voyage took half a year to make, but it was preceded by more than a year of preparation. Most often, special effects are realized with miniatures. Here, the problems were reversed. The submarine-like vessel carrying the doctors was 42 feet long, requiring corresponding sets of the human organs built on a monstrous scale. The heart was 15 feet by 7, made of latex-covered rubber and medically accurate in its detail. The brain was half the size of a football stadium, 5 million times the size of an actual brain. With sets as complicated as these, and with the always difficult problem of filming underwater, it was decided to fake the swimming scenes. The actors were suspended by wires, photographed at an abnormal speed to get that peculiar underwater effect. Now, some special effects of a very different kind.
Violet, give me some coffee.
Yes, sir.
In 9 to 5, that hilarious feminist comedy spoofing male chauvinism at the office, Lily Tomlin daydreams revenge on her arrogant boss with the aid of animated friends devised by special effects experts. Would you like to see how it was done? First stage, Lily performs the motions as required by the script and the director. The animators make their sketches, their moving blueprints, with special regard for Lily's sightlines. Next, they complete their paintings of the animals, which are filmed separately. Put it all together, and it comes out like this. One of the special effects experts responsible for this sequence was Fred Helmig, who was with Walt Disney Studio for 24 years, which might account for a certain Disney-like mood in this scene. From the whimsical to the fantastic, Altered States is a triumph of special effects photography as the film delves back into the development of mankind from animal life. To achieve these frightening effects, star William Hurt spent hours in private makeup tests. This exclusive footage was shot in the garage of makeup genius Dick Smith, who invented this technique using air bladders. We asked Dick to explain these scenes.
Well, Tom, Bill Hurt played a scientist experimenting with mind-altering drugs, which began to change his physical state. I had to show that happening. These were our first tests. I rejected this arm ripple effect because it was too uniform, too unnatural. I was happier with this chest effect, again using air bladders under a latex skin which covered his torso. Filming this rubber suit in a special mirror makes Bill's body appear to be altering. An improved suit with optical enhancement was used in the last scene of the movie.
Finally, the movie that is to special effects what Niagara is to waterfalls. The Empire Strikes Back. Like its great predecessor, Star Wars, this George Lucas production combines brilliant technology with brilliant imagination. Here's one of the stars of the picture, Mark Hamill, to tell you about the filming of an Empire highlight, the Battle in the Snow. Mark?
Those 40-foot monsters slowly thumping across the Norwegian snows were actually models of varying sizes, some only a few inches in height. They were filmed against painted backdrops and on small sets with snow made from baking soda and glass particles. The animators took their cue from the walk of an elephant in order to give their machines that ponderous movement. The live-action footage was completed before the special effects, and the animators used their moving blueprints to match the two kinds of action, live and animated. It took 9 months to build and film this sequence, using stop frame techniques. Each tiny movement of the models is filmed frame by frame. Add sound effects and musical scoring. And what you get from these experts is an orchestration of all the elements.
Thanks, Mark. May the Force stay with you, and with all those special effects magicians of the movies. And that's Hollywood.